the way that it was intended to be sold, the way that it was intended to be empowered, to be broadcast to the American public. They failed at this. But I'm proud to call myself a Republican because I believe in what the Republican Party is supposed to be, what it was intended to be, how Thomas Jefferson described his vision of a Republican Party. That's the vision. That's what I believe. I'll get into that later on. But in this case, friends, we have a commander-in-chief who has continuously besmirched the great name of this country. We have a commander-in-chief that will stop at nothing to steal an election. To steal it. Yes, to steal it. They say Republicans will stop at no means to win an election. How many corpses voted for John McCain in 2008? I'd like to know. I know how many voted for Barack Obama. People, illegals getting the immediate right to vote with ease over the men and women of our military. Now, of course, on my Facebook page, America Rising, which is currently maxed out, and I guess I had to do something else to start another page to, take the overflow or something along those lines. But America Rising is my sole Facebook page, if you will. And remember, I hate Facebook, but it's a necessary tool, and I will use it. I shared last night a link to an Army plane that crashed somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. I worked all night, so I'm a little tired right now. But regardless, it crashed, and on that plane were absentee ballots from our military. I can't even think of the words. How quaint, how perfect is that? People, we are being run by an extremist, by a coward, by a thief, by a liar. Now, I know what I'm saying right now pretty much defines 99% of most politicians, but this one, the President of the United States of America, is a special breed of bastard. We are being run by a fraud, by somebody who I now, more than ever before, and I never ever doubted this, but now his own actions have shown me this time and time again. We're being run by a man who hates this country, who hates you. He is against freedom. He has gone to the United Nations in a concerted effort and almost very narrowly stopped, mind you. Now, granted, we didn't hear much about this, because so many people want to focus on the diversions out there. But the UN, with the backing of the President of the United States of America, tried to have our right to bear arms stripped away from us. Does this sound like somebody who loves this country? I'm no fan of liberals, all right? I'm no fan of them at all. I sure as hell don't like the draft dodger Bill Clinton. But at least he didn't try to have our right to bear arms taken away from us. At least he didn't deploy UN troops at our election sites, at our polling places. People, when are we going to wake up and realize once and for all, this is no longer a matter of, well, I'm going to vote for the lesser of two evils, or we're screwed either way. You know what? No matter what your opinion is of Mitt Romney, okay? No matter what your opinion is of the RNC, think about it. Think about it for a second, okay? We have a man who just in the last few weeks alone has disgraced this nation. I mean, I don't even have to go back over the 3.5 years. Just in the past few weeks, what have you learned about this man? What have you learned about his policies? About what he has done? What he hasn't done? It's a slap in the face to all of you to realize that no matter how you look at it, do you want this to continue? Do you want to give, I'll go so far as to call him an extremist named Barack Obama, the unlimited power of 4 more years, not having to worry about a re-election, to run free, to set forth the most radical, liberal agenda that we have ever seen in this country? And it's been pretty bad over the past 3.5 years. But do you want to give him 4 more years to see how much worse it could be? What else can he do? Excuse me. Is that something that you really, really think is in the best interest of this nation? People, it's time to pull your collective heads out of your collected asses. And I don't say this to the people who subscribe to this show, because even if you don't agree with what I'm saying, you're objective enough, to at least consider the alternative. But to the new people, and I know I get those people that listen to my podcast just because they hate me and just because they disagree with what I'm saying. Good. And thank you for the hit on the show site. I appreciate the numbers. Nevertheless, people, Mitt Romney is a hell of a lot better than this bastard in the White House right now. When I see Mitt Romney talk, I don't see a man that hates America. I don't see a man that is looking to continue the decline of this country. I see someone who, regardless of political affiliation, sincerely gives a damn and wants this. You know what? I'd much rather take my chances with somebody who is willing to at least put America first, to at least, granted he could be saying all the right things now, it is election season, I'm no big fan, like I said, but at least he's willing to put this country's forward progress first over a radical extremist agenda like Barack Obama. I said this in the last podcast I did, the attacks on our embassies. I was sent a video last night from Mrs. Connie Williams, who is somebody that I consider a friend, and somebody who has listened to all these podcasts and radio shows and has been a truly great, active American. And I did not get a chance to listen to it yet. And I'm going to speak on this later. I'm probably going to do another podcast tonight, actually. 2 in 1. Yay. But the sentiment is there. How do we feel? How do we, the American people, feel knowing that regardless of what you think about our foreign policy, what you think about our soldiers being abroad, even myself, even my own feelings, cast that aside. People, if any country's embassy in this country were to be attacked, it would be considered an act of war. And the same can be said about every single American embassy abroad. Now we know what we've already known, what we've known since September 11th, 2012. It's sad. It's sad that I have to say that date. That date, when our security should have been tenfold at every embassy abroad, especially on that solemn day. We had embassies attacked. We had American citizens beaten, sodomized, tortured, dragged through the streets, and killed. Killed, ladies and gentlemen. Murdered. Our embassies attacked, lit on fire, our flag taken down, an Al-Qaeda flag being raised up. And now, in the last 24, 48 hours, whatever it is, we learned what we already knew. Help was close by. We had the chance to save those people, to secure our embassies, to secure American interests abroad, if you will. And what did our piece of trash president do? He gave the orders to stand down. To stand down while he watched from the White House Americans being murdered. Is this somebody that you believe in? Is this the best person for the job? Is this somebody who you feel can safely lead us the next 4 years? If you think that, I feel sorry for you. And I make a sincere, heartfelt request that you consider your options, look at your finances, and move to France. Move to Iran. Get the hell out of this country. Because if you in any way, liberal, conservative, independent, non-voter, whatever you call yourself, if you hear that, know that, see that truth, and aren't disturbed to all hell by it, then you do not belong in this country. People, Barack Obama sat by and watched it happen, and then went to Vegas. I mean, when is enough enough? When are we going to realize that what we have right now isn't working? And you shouldn't have needed this to be your red flag. But this is one hell of a big red flag, people. I'm running out of time. And I am going to be upgrading the Spreaker format so I can go longer. It becomes a paid thing then, and then I could actually speak on, if you will. But think about this. The people have lost their voice. The people of this nation, you and I, are having our sovereignty attacked, are having our freedom assaulted. We are having our nation being stripped from us. And it is up to us to fix the problem. It is up to us to be more than just a number, to be more than just a mark, to be more than just a member of something. It is up to us to stand up for something, to stand up for this country, to believe that we are strong enough and powerful enough to say no more. We have to gut this system. We have to fix this system. But people, our country is under attack. From within, from without. We have gone on too long accepting as is, accepting the status quo. We are voiceless. Do you choose to be voiceless? Is that something that you want? Do you want to continue to feel like you don't matter? Because if you do, by all means, don't vote. Or vote for Obama. Vote for him. Because he's obviously your leader to exile. He is your leader that will bring this country straight to the depths of hell. Or do you want to be greater than that? Do you want to be somebody who puts it all aside and says, I will take back this country. I will reclaim this country's rights. I will reclaim our individual rights as citizens of the greatest country in the world. When do you say enough is enough? People, wake up and realize. The next shows, I'm going to be a lot more intricate and a lot more in depth. But ladies and gentlemen, in my last 30 seconds, I'm pleading with you to rise above the rhetoric. And it is time for us. This isn't a revolution. No, this is a reclamation. It is time for us to reclaim what is ours. It is not theirs to have. It is not theirs to rape and abuse and destroy. It is ours. It is our country, our freedoms. It's up to us to save them. Will you fight or will you sit by?